What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, if you've been following the channel for a little bit now, you know that me and My Hero Academia have a little bit of a turbulent relationship. I didn't like My Hero Academia for the longest time because of the story decisions that it was making and all that, but the series brought me back around at the end with that epilogue and how it made me feel like it was early My Hero Academia again. So, these days, I'm leaning toward being way more favorable to the series than I've been in the past when I've made content on My Hero Academia. But with this video today, something like there's a topic that I'm talking about today that I simply just can't ignore, and that is I think that My Hero Academia failed the main trio of Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki. Now, why do I feel this way? Because if you're just on the outside looking in, this trio looks very good on paper. And yes, it does. It has all the reason in the world to work. But in my opinion, it doesn't. Now, why do I feel that way? Well, if you really think about it, this trio in the main story has little to no screen time together. The only time you really see all three of them working together as a unit is in the Endeavor Agency arc. That's it. Every other time that we see these characters, it's either two together or they're just all doing their own thing by themselves. That's really it. You never really get to see them work together as a cohesive unit in the main story, unless you're talking about Endeavor Agency. Everything that goes on with Dabi, Todoroki does it by himself. Everything that goes on with Shigaraki, it's Midoriya and Bakugo together, but Todoroki isn't factored in at all. He's kind of left on the sidelines because he's fighting Dabi. So it's weird because they heavily market this main trio of these three characters, but they're barely together in the main story. Now, the movies try to salvage this, right? The third movie in particular, heavily markets the main idea of a trio composing of Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki. The main problem is, once again, they are split up throughout the almost the entire movie, and it's mostly Bakugo and Todoroki working together as a unit until the third act where they all get together. But it's I don't know. I get it set during the Endeavor Agency arc, and that's where they're all working together as a cohesive unit. But once again, the movie breaks them up, and it's weird. You're marketing them as this whole unit, but you keep breaking them up in the story, and in the movies where you have a shot to do it, you break them apart again. Now, with the final movie that's come out recently, I will give them this. This main trio worked together as a really good cohesive unit for the first time in just the material of MHA. Yes, it's not in the main story, but this movie was the first time where I felt oh shit, this trio is actually strong. This is a really good trio. That final fight hits so hard. It is backed up by the fact that it has quite possibly the best animation My Hero Academia has ever had. Movie, TV season, or otherwise. That was the best shit. Todoroki's attacks, Bakugo's, Midoriya's, that was everything that I could have possibly wanted from that main trio. Everything I felt we were promised with this main trio, we got in that movie. But it's when you look at the movie, it's why couldn't we get stuff like this in the show or in the manga? And the simple reason is, I don't think this was ever supposed to be the main trio that Horikoshi foresaw. If you really think about it, I think he wanted the main trio to be Deku, Uraraka, and Ida. I think that's who we wanted the main trio to be. But things must have changed somewhere down the line. Maybe it was from Jump or his editors, and they were just hey, listen, Bakugo and Todoroki are clearly the best characters that we've got. You need to make them the trio and not Uraraka and Ida. I genuinely think that might have been what it was, like some corporate mandating or something like that. Because I don't know, man. It just feels like Todoroki, Bakugo, and Midoriya was a trio that wasn't fully thought out in a way. Because, like, their best moments all happen when they're either apart or if it's like two of them working together. Like, when you got Midoriya versus Todoroki in the sports festival, you got, like, Todoroki and Bakugo working together in, like, their remedial courses. Like, they all worked together best when they weren't like as a unit together. Because I think Horikoshi didn't really know how he wanted to go about writing them. Because, like I said, I think he was so heavily focused on Midoriya, Uraraka, and Ida that he didn't really know how to write these guys together as a group. Like, that's why if you notice, like, when Midoriya and Bakugo, or when Bakugo finds out Midoriya's secret, he's essentially gone for an arc because, like, because Horikoshi didn't know how to handle that, I think. So, like, that's why, like, Bakugo is barely in uh, the Overhaul arc because, like, Horikoshi didn't know how to write that, in my opinion. So, all in all, this trio, while it's a great idea on paper, and it's an idea that I wanted to love so desperately because I love these characters so much in the manga. All of their stories like are so good, except for Bakugo's fake out death. We don't talk about that. I hated that shit. But other than that, these characters I love to pieces. These are some of my favorite characters in MHA, and a main trio composing of them seems like an amazing idea on paper, but in execution, I don't know. It just really wasn't all that for me. The only time they were ever like really a cohesive unit together was in that newest movie, but that's not even like manga canon or anything like that. So, can you really count it? I don't know. It's just unfortunate, man. Like, I wish that they got to do something together, all three of them together in the manga, but you can't have everything. And even though I'm leaning towards being more favorable to MHA these days, that's something I just can't ignore. And it's something that I honestly didn't like about the story. Now, is there any shot that Horikoshi like puts out another additional chapter and all three of them are working together as a unit? Who knows? That could very well happen. I feel like Horikoshi, as much as Horikoshi says he's done, I don't think he's done with My Hero Academia as a story. I can personally see him coming back, and maybe that's when the main trio is the focal point of that series. But again, only time will tell. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How do you feel about the main trio of MHA? Do you feel like me that they weren't always originally supposed to be the main trio, and that's kind of why like they aren't really together much in the main story? Or do you think this was something that was planned from the jump? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.